What's good everybody, Jeff here. Welcome back to the final video of this series sponsored by Guns of Boom. This is now the 5th episode and I will recommend you to watch the other ones if you haven't already, otherwise it would not make much sense to be honest. The previous video was in December and I would like to address one small thing. That kind of comments. I've seen some of them and I was obviously expecting them. I mean, I know my audience, I know how us CSGO players think of other games, and especially how we tend to think less of something different. And that's what this series has been about. As I have explained in the first episode, I wasn't convinced when I first heard of Guns of Boom branching into esport, and it's only when I saw it, when I have met the players, the devs. I mean, in the end, this series retraces my journey into understanding how narrow-minded I can be sometimes. If anything, really, making this series made me more open-minded. I stepped back a little bit, took a look at what's around, and trust me, I am still convinced that CSGO is the best esport and viewing experience of the entire esport industry. But stepping back, looking at what's around, and I'm sorry to say, but realize that this is not the center of the world, that is not a bad thing.
Now coming into this, of course, it's $60,000. What are you going to do with your winnings?
I don't know. I've been as rich as we've ever been.
And if you look at esport as a whole, whether it be a mobile, FPS, RTS, console, PC, VR, anything really, the only thing that matters in the end is how involved the community is and how clean the rules of the competitions are. Just like I said in the first video, I realized my mistake. Chess is considered as a sport, throwing a hammer is considered as a sport. Then why would any other game be less worthy of hosting a competition? Given that all the players are given the same chances, that the rules are defined prior, that practice and dedications are involved, why would any game be less worthy than another? Anyway, in this final video, I would like to talk about the launching of Season 2, because by now, I hope that I have sparked an interest to some of you. And if you want to push it further, now is the right time, because Season 2 has been kicked off a few days ago live from Katowice. Yeah, that is right, you heard it right. During the major of CSGO, a Guns of Boom event took place for the kickoff of the Season 2, and that was on stage during the IEM. The production was cool, and overall it must have been quite the experience for the players to play on such a big stage and arena, and they were also competing for 50k, which, you know, it's not too shabby for just one match. I was cheering for the same guys that I have been following since the beginning of this series. Unfortunately, this time they have lost, but again, still must have been quite a blast. So, what's the big news for Season 2? Well, there's gonna be a whopping $500,000 in cash prize to win. And this time, it will be open to more than just NA and EU. You can now join the competition if you are from Southeast Asia or Latin America. They've created a Challenger series to qualify for other big events like Katowice, because in the end, that was just the beginning and they are planning to host more of those. And one thing that I would love to have for CSGO, but somehow Valve isn't so fond of it, including the team brandings inside the game. Think about it, how sick would it be to have some Nip gloves or Astralis gloves, for example. There's also some money to win in those qualifiers, as the first place takes $400, so you know, if you actually win one of those, please let me know, because I would love to hear from one of you guys actually going pro in Guns of Boom after watching this series. I mean, that would be very cool. You see, the entire series leads here. I first got introduced to the game, the environment, the mobile esport world, and I have met the devs and see what they have planned to make it work and to make it esport ready. Then we've watched the match, analyzed it, and more recently in December we looked at the casual side of the game. And today we conclude on the big announcement for Season 2. Guns of Boom is going worldwide and you can win $500,000 during the Season 2 if you manage to be the best, of course. But you know, still, $500,000? I could take that. This series got me to travel. The entire partnership was very ambitious. I got to go to Katowice, to Los Angeles, I got to see a lot of the backstages and learned a lot on how to host a competition, what is required to make it work. It's a lot of fun for them. The devs love it, the community loves it too, and the storylines behind it are very cool. And it's nice to see how they have been able to build a scene since I first heard of it in March of last year. I really want to thank Guns of Boom, and more precisely Alex and Stanis, for allowing me in the backstages to let me do my my stuff with my videos, to cope with me, even though I'm a pain in the ass because I forgot to bring my batteries and I don't have a camera, so they had to hook me up with a camera guy, and they have never interfered with what I wanted to say in the series. I've had a full freedom, and that was quite an experience when I look back and think of everything I got to do. And lastly, I want to conclude on some nice images from the Gods of Boom event, which took place in Katowice. Thank you very much for following this series. I hope you have learned from my journey, and I will see you guys in the next video.
It would just be ridiculous if they're able to do it, and they don't need much to tee themselves over the edge. Once they get this capture here, that should be Noble. It's so close, it could come down to the kills, but Noble have done it. A 4-0 as the boys in the yellow jersey smash their way through the opponents. Lazarus failed to even secure one map. Ridiculous stuff here from your new Gods of Boom.
Congratulations to Noble. You can see as they were leaping around there, Noki was looking over the shoulders of his teammates towards Lazarus on the other side. Lazarus already on their feet. Lord Mallow high-fiving all of his team. They're going to come out of that feeling, disappointed about it, but hello Nokia. Enjoy your moment in the Spodek Arena. The Gods of Boom champions at the Season 2 kickoff. KM lifts the trophy for Noble. The t-shirt goes on, the t-shirt comes off, the t-shirt goes on, the t-shirt comes off.